and welcome to Used Car Heaven. Business as usual this week for the Car Doctor and for the Trading Post, but we have some very special cars. This week we've got a selection of city slickers because our car buyer this week is a happy family man. But he's not looking for a family car. This time he's looking for something for himself. Something to take him to and from work, but also something that's going to make him feel and look good. In other words, we're looking for Daddy's car. So let's go meet him. This is Mark Jones. He's 36 years old and lives with his family in High Peak in Derbyshire. He runs his own business selling bicycles, and in fact, in his own career as a cyclist, he rode for this country. Now though, at the other end of the scale, he's looking for a car. A big, comfy car. Mark, hi. Welcome to the show. Now, family man, which is great. But we're not looking for a family car this time, are we?
Not this time. Daddy's car.
This is just for you.
This is for Daddy.
Okay, well look, we've got a good selection, some pretty sophisticated kit. And when I tell you that the BMW 3 Series, the drop-top sport beamer, that's kind of the most mundane of the three we've got. That gives you an idea of the standard.
Sounds promising.
Do you like beamers? Have you had
Yeah,
them?
I've owned a couple of BMWs. Never a 3 Series, but...
Okay, so it's it'll be the smallest beamer you've tried, but it'll be interesting to see what you think.
Yeah.
By way of contrast, we should say, by the way, what are you spending? It's kind of...
35, 40 for the right, possibly scrape a little more.
Okay, I asked that now because our second car is it's quite expensive.
It's a bit special.
Whereas the Beamer's quite small, this is very big, XKR, supercharged, serious piece of kit. Do you like it, just first glance?
Oh, I love it.
Right. It looks the part, doesn't it, really?
It's got that X factor.
Presence. It certainly has. And our third car is very unusual. Do you want to get in?
Yeah, sure.
We'll drive this one first. It's our first car. It is a soft top. Well, I say it's a soft top. It's a drop top, but it's a hard top. If you fire it up, I'll operate the button. And this is where it gets very clever. Let's just keep the breeze out and have the lid.
Oh, very nice.
See what I mean? I think we may actually find that this is going to be typically Lexus. Now, you do drive a Lexus at the moment, don't you?
I do. IS 200.
Yeah. Lovely little car. Well, this is different. This is very... Ooh.
And you don't even have to get out the car.
That's very nice, isn't it, that? Oh. All right. Well, if you want to slip it into drive, let's go forwards, not backwards. That's good. Forwards is good.
Lexus have come on leaps and bounds in the past 12 or 13 years since they launched their first large luxury saloon, the LS400. Since then, they've brought us a mid-size saloon, a small saloon, an estate, and a 4x4. And the final piece in the jigsaw is this car, the SC430. Designed perhaps for cruising more down the boulevards of California than blasting down the B-roads of Britain, its quirky styling takes a while to grow on you, if at all, to be honest, but under the bonnet is a very good engine. 4.3 V8, 282 brake horsepower, it's quick. Inside it has just about every conceivable extra on as standard, including a satellite navigation system and a TV, of course, and probably one of the best hi-fi systems, sound systems you will find anywhere. It's not just a standard one, it's been personally designed by some guy called Mark Levinson, who's apparently the bee's knees as far as hi-fi is concerned. It's brilliant. It also has some rather tacky wood and a brilliant set of cup holders. How about those? Top. But rear seats? Not so sure about those. Would you want to put your kids in the back of there?
Right, well, our first car then, the Lexus. It's very unusual. Have you seen much on these things?
I haven't seen very much at all. Bit of an advert and that's about it.
Yeah, they're kind of odd. You won't have driven it?
Not driven it at all.
Okay, so it's very much a first. First impressions, what do you reckon?
Fantastic interior. Exterior for me looks a bit of an older man's car.
Yes. It's not very sharp, is it?
It's not got that, it looks sleek, but it's a bit high for the style of car, I think.
Well, physically, the body, it does look it.
The physical height of the car, yeah.
So then, Mark, the Lexus. They reckon it's going to be a huge hit in America, this car. But is it with you? What do you think?
Very nice to drive. It's got absolutely everything. it seems to sit a little bit high off the road for a sports car.
I know what you mean
But
about sitting high. Yeah, it does.
Very nice drive.
Really?
Very nice drive.
It's got everything.
Fully loaded.
I mean, I can't think of a gizmo this thing hasn't got, really.
No, I mean it's just got everything. I mean it's so comfortable. Very nice interior. Very nice.
And it's also a Lexus, so it's not going to
Lexus.
break down on you, is it?
No.
Okay,
No.
so a possible contender anyway, it's in there. You certainly don't run screaming from it.
No.
All right. Well, Mark, that is only the first of our 3 cars. There are 2 more to have a go at, and while we get ready to go out in the big Jag, the surgery's open, so it's business as usual for the car doctor.
Garages are forever getting called out to cars that are either stranded or people can't get into, and it's a very common fault. And I've chosen a Rover to show you this, but the actual fault is something to do with the immobiliser. Now, there's 2 main problems with the immobiliser. The first one is that people let the battery go flat. The other one is that sometimes the car just fails to accept the frequency transmitted from the key fob. But there's a couple of things we need to do. When you fit in a battery, you've got to follow the correct procedure, and that would mean taking the battery out, fitting the new one, but before you fit the new one, you need to press the button down on a Rover for 5 to 10 seconds. You then release it, put the battery in, and when you zap it, the alarm and immobiliser should operate correctly by unlocking the doors. If it doesn't, then there is a procedure that you can follow, and all Rovers and some other cars come with a 4-digit key code, which comes in your owner's manual in the glove box. If you've got it, it's very easy. So I'll give you an example of what to do. Take it, for example, that this car has got a 4-digit key code number of maybe 1212. We very simply put the key in the door, turn it to the left 1, and then to the right 2, and 1, and then 2. And that actually immobilises the immobiliser, so it allows you to gain access and drive the car. But that's turned it off, and it'll only be reactivated either by initiating the key fob again or by flattening the battery or something like that. Now, that'll sort of get you mobile temporarily, but what my tip is maybe to go and get a battery fitted in the key fob before it goes flat. Follow the procedure, and that's then going to save you any problems of being stranded late at night or a call-out charge, maybe when it's very inconvenient.
Thank you, Simon. And there'll be more from the car doctor on Used Car Heaven next week. This week, we're looking for the ultimate car for the family man. And no, we're not talking family cars. We're talking about a car to escape in. And I'm trying to talk, Mark, for as long as I can, just to stop you getting in this thing. I just want to watch the expression on your face.
I don't think you should have anything else to say now.
No, you think that's it?
Yeah.
I should shut up.
Yeah.
He's desperate to drive this. It's the Jaguar XKR, and it's not bad.
Okay, I admit it, I'm a Jaguar fan, and there's no doubt that the Jaguar XK Coupe is a gorgeous looking car. I think its style and grace and everything else, it looks fantastic. Even though it's been around since 1996, it may be beginning to get a little bit long in the tooth. There's an all-new XK8 coming up very soon with some new engines too. But if you go for this car, an XKR Coupe, what you get is 370 brake horsepower, 155 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds. Do you want any more? Well, how about a fantastic interior? The words sumptuous and elegant spring to mind when you step inside here. It's all wood and leather. It really looks the part. And equipment is very good. Everything is standard on the XKR Coupe. So what sort of price would you expect to pay for a used car? Well, XKR's new start at over £50,000 for a coupe. A lot of money. But on the used market, well, the early R-Reg cars are now slipping back to around £30,000. And that's for something that's only done 20 or 30,000 miles. A lot of car for the money.
Suddenly, Mark, there's a subtle change in your expression. The signals I'm getting here.
I've just lost about 10 years of my life. I feel very young again.
Yeah. To me, in here, this feels like Daddy's car.
This is Daddy's car. I think I've just found the car I fell in love with.
What's talking to you about it then?
Oh, just everything. The looks, the way it feels.
It is a very, very big car, and I've noticed driving these, it tends to feel massive. Is it a problem? You bothered about that?
Not at all.
I'm not going to put you off this car, am I? Whatever I say.
Not at all.
Okay, it's got 20-inch wheels, and at some point you're going to have to buy tyres.
I was going to say I'll drive carefully, but I'd be lying.
You won't, will you? No.
You just drive this to how it wants to be driven.
So, the Jaguar XKR, you weren't much impressed, were you, really, with that, Mark?
Oh, I love that.
Why? Remind me, what is it about this car?
Everything. Everything. I have never been stared at so much driving a car. The car is just awesome.
I kind of know what you mean about everything, because it's an holistic experience. It's the look, the feel, even the outrageous size of the car. It just adds up to something pretty special.
It's just, the performance, everything about it is just typical Jaguar.
I have never seen all of these programs that we've done. I've never seen anybody just fall head over heels in love with a car like this before. I think we might have found something for you, but we haven't finished yet. There's another car that, it could just wrestle this from you. You never know. And that's going to be the BMW 3 Series Drop Top Sport. And we'll be doing that after the break on Used Car Heaven. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to Used Car Heaven. Now, there is a family connection to the show this week, but it's not quite what you might expect, because our car buyer is Mark and he is a happy family man. But the car he's looking for, well, if anything, it's to get away from the family, if we're honest. He's looking for Daddy's car. He's already tried the Lexus that converts from a hardtop to a convertible. Very nice, but he fell head over heels in love with the Jaguar XKR, which is a very big, very impressive car. The point is, we now have one car left with which to persuade him to move away from his first love, and that's the BMW 330 convertible. Will that do it? Well, we'll find out before the end of the show. But first, Ian Royle has this week's alternative suggestion.
Well, Mark's certainly got a handsome budget to spend on his new car, and we've picked out three superb examples. A top-of-the-range BMW 3 Series, but it seems that everybody drives one of those these days. The Lexus SC Coupe convertible. Not so sure about the looks on that one. And Jaguar's XKR, 370 brake horsepower, seriously quick, but beginning to look a little outdated, I'm afraid. But there is one other car that Mark ought to consider on his shopping list, and it's also from Germany. It's quicker than the 3 Series, it's more handsome than the Lexus, and it's certainly more advanced than the Jaguar. It's this, the C32 AMG from Mercedes-Benz. AMG is to Mercedes what the M badge is to BMW. Although BMW's motorsport division has always been in-house, it wasn't until a few years ago that Mercedes bought a stake in the AMG tuning company, and now the results are certainly paying off across their whole range of cars. Each one has individual attention paid to it at the build stage, and in the shape of the C32, its discreet looks hide a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, that AMG badge on the back may look impressive, but the most important thing about this car is the way that it drives. Well, let me just give you the facts and figures on the C32 AMG. You get a 3.2-litre V6 engine, but the most important component is a supercharger, or a compressor, as Mercedes-Benz like to call it. And you get an engine that pumps out 350 brake horsepower, which makes it as powerful as the M3, but this is quicker. 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, 0 to 100 should you be on an autobahn in Germany in just over 10 seconds, which puts this car in supercar territory. Now, with a lot of the sort of high-end performance cars that you get on the market these days, what you tend to find is a car that doesn't quite live up to your expectations. But I can honestly say with the C32 AMG, it does. It is a fantastic car to drive. It's comfortable and relaxed on the motorway. But when you find a nice stretch of a B road that you really want to have a good blast in, this car is as sharp as they come, believe you me. And that performance is just astonishing. And inside you get all the standard features and the bits and bobs that you would want to find on any car. So I think that, Mark, you really ought to consider one of these cars. Now, although the C32 AMG hasn't been on the market for that long, used cars are starting to come through the system. Mercedes-Benz claim that they're not going to sell many of these cars new a year, so finding a used car might be difficult, but they are out there if you search hard enough.
Thank you, Ian. That's very nice, I'm sure, but it's not quite enough. It doesn't seem to have quite persuaded our market to forgo his Jag, which you like quite a lot. But maybe we've got it here. Okay, we're going to try it with this, our third and final car, BMW 3 Series convertible. I'm going to spoil your fun a little bit because I know it's not even raining today, it's not too bad, but for the purposes of this test, we're going to have the hood up, if that's all right. Okay. It's all automatic though, so we don't want to strain it. It also gives us a chance to show off the mechanism. It's not a solid one like the Lexus, it is an ordinary cloth one. And there we go, drops into place. Take it away, let's see what you think.
Now, with a budget of up to £40,000, that gives you the ability to get a serious posing car. So why not look at a BMW 3 Series? And we've decided to pick out this car, a 330 convertible sport. Now, this is one very, very nice car, extremely smart, very stylish, and when the weather goes good, you can get the roof down too. Now, this car would cost £41,000 with all the gadgets and gizmos it's got on new, but look around and you'll save yourself a few grand on the used market. It's a great car to drive, rear wheel drive, 50-50 weight distribution for perfect balance on the road. So, could you be tempted by a BMW 3 Series? Well, if you are, you've got to decide which model to go for. There's the Saloon, the Touring, the Coupe, or, as I suspect, if you're going to spend a lot of money on a car, you want something to show for it. So why not go for this, a convertible? Not been on the market that long, but very, very stylish. When the sun finally comes out, not today unfortunately, it's got a fantastic electric folding roof which does the business back there, or in the winter there's the option of a hardtop to keep you snug and warm. And inside you can upgrade with the stereo system, you can have the TV and the sat-nav. Not forgetting, of course, that it's great to drive on the road too.
So the third of our vehicles, and I'm well aware that you've had to leave your Jag behind, which has upset you, is the BMW. And first impressions, what do you think?
It's nice. It's got a great feel to it. You feel like you're in something that goes quick.
Which I suspect we are. It's the sport version, so it ain't going to be a slow thing by any means. I mean, BMW makes some pretty fast things. I don't know how we're doing on the gizmo front. I know that both the Jag and the Lexus are pretty loaded, and on here, just looking around, we've got aircon, we've probably got a cruise control. Yeah, we have got a cruise control on there. Controls on the steering wheel, so it's pretty well spec'd up. Nothing like the novelty factor of the Lexus.
It's not quite got the state-of-the-art TV screen.
Oh, the other important thing, of course, is you have got reasonable accommodation in the back of this compared to both the Jag, despite the Jag being bigger than most people's houses, more expensive than quite a lot, and certainly compared to the Lexus. You can fit 4 people in here.
Yeah.
That's still worrying you, isn't it? You're rather not.
Push the seat right back.
So then, Mark, that's it. Our final offering, the BMW. What do you think?
It's nice.
Nice. We get those expensive cars for it. It's nice.
It was nice. You feel like it's supposed to drive quickly.
Yeah, it does feel quite nippy.
It does, yeah.
It does feel sporty. It feels quite small compared to the other two, definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't really set you on fire, has he?
Not quite.
We shall see. We're going to keep you in suspense because we will find out which car Mark is going to decide is the ultimate daddy's car. But we'll do that after the trading post.
This week I'm talking about buying a 1990s BMW 3 Series. 2 models, saloon and coupes. Coupe obviously having a 2-door and tend to be the better seller. Engine sizes range from 1.6 to 2.8. Obviously the bigger the better. But be aware that between 1995 and 1998 all BMW 328s had an engine recall which was done free of charge. Make sure that your car has had that recall. Is a very, very important factor when you come to resell the car. Always check that all the panels fit correctly on the car to show that the car is original. Check for obvious signs of crash damage. Wheels as well. Obviously you will check the tyres. This one has wheel trims. The better sellers always have alloy wheels. Be aware when you're buying a car like this that you don't buy one with big spoilers on it and fancy bits and bigger wheels. Usually a sign that the car's been misused. Mileage is not too much of a concern as long as the car has a good service history. Always take the time to actually call the dealers and check the service history. It may save yourself a lot of money and a lot of effort in times to come. Prices range on these vehicles from a 1992 model from £1,500 for like a 320, 323, something like that, depending on the mileage, ranging right up to £12,000, £13,000 for one in pristine order, 95 to 98. Next week, I will be back again to talk about another used car deal.
Now, our challenge this week was to find for Mark, our buyer on Used Car Heaven, the ultimate daddy's car. Mark, this is it, the moment of truth. You've sampled all of our motors. What do you think?
3 very nice cars. There isn't one in last place. I think the Lexus, I love the interior.
You were really taken with that, weren't you? And it did have a lot
really
of
was
gizmos.
nice. It had everything.
Yeah.
The looks, for me, it just looks a little bit too old.
No, I know what you mean. It's not the sharpest.
The BMW, I love the drive of it, and I like the interior also, but not as much as the Lexus.
Yeah.
But the winner.
It's got to be. Let's go and have a look at it then. I can't keep you away from it for too long. The Jaguar XKR, it's by far the most expensive car we've got here this week. But it's been marvellous to see and quite touching to watch you just fall for this car.
Big time.
And I have to say, and I can now certainly reveal my unbiased opinion, I think you're absolutely right. I think this probably is the ultimate daddy's car.
Oh, definitely.
That's it for this week on Used Car Heaven. Join us next week for more. Until then, have a good week. See you then.